All right, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for hanging out all day. I think there's been some really good connections. If you're just joining for the AI demos and we haven't met yet, I'm Jeremy. I serve as CEO of VentureStudio at Ahmedabad University. And today's Code Cowork was put together with a group of innovation partners, including House of Starts. We have Apurva from House of Starts representing, and PDEU's IIC. Mr. Ane Mashruwala is here representing them. We also had the generous support from eChai Ventures, Geetansh Atrey, and we're hosted today at Gift IFIH, which is in partnership with Plug and Play. So we have 4 AI demos for you today. Geetansh, Saumya, Neeta, and Arpit. We're going to get kicked off here with Geetansh from Gaman. All right, big round of applause for Geetansh.
Thanks a lot, man. Hey everyone, am I audible? I'm assuming I am. Yes. Cool. First of all, thanks a lot, guys, for allowing me to speak here. My name is Geetansh, and today I'm representing Gaman. I'm the co-founder of Gaman. Gaman is an AI-powered travel companion that helps you plan, book, and stays with you through all the different phases of your travel, making it a perfect trip. So I just have a very brief presentation and a demo as well to give you sort of a brief idea of what we're trying to build. Very shortly, talking about my co-founder and I, both of us come from a core software product tech background, with him spending almost 15 years working in the Valley across various companies, highlights being Meta and VMware. About myself, I too come from a software background, worked around 3 years at VMware, post that was running a dev studio before jumping into Gaman. So yes, talking about the problem. What we feel has been happening with travel is there is a lack of innovation for a very, very, very long time. The last innovative product, honestly, that has come in this space that we believe is Airbnb. And that too was, I would say, 10 or 15 years ago. In India, I feel it's even before that. Like the current big issues when it comes to travel is very fragmented. Like you have so many tools right now. You have Make My Trip, Exego in India. You have and like Clear Trip, and you just go out of India. Like there are a bunch like Booking.com, Airbnb, Klook for different purposes, and you go to their platforms. You feel very overwhelmed. There are so many things happening that for a person like me who has like recently started exploring international travel out of India, it's very overwhelming. I'm not able to understand like what's right for me, what's in it for me. Second big problem is lack of personalization. Wherever I go, I find those generic itineraries. Like you just Google 5-day itinerary to Bali, you'll see like hundreds of Google search result pages, and all of them offer the same things. You don't know what it actually looks like, and you don't know if it's the perfect itinerary for you or not. When it comes to travel, how we see it in current state is there are 4 phases to it. First is the inspiration. Inspiration is when you have a vague idea in your mind that you want to travel somewhere, but you're not clear. Maybe you are confused between a few places, or you just want to explore a bunch of places. The second is the research. This is when you probably have some sort of idea about where you want to go. Just to give an example, let's say you have decided you want to go to Vietnam, but you're not clear. Okay, what does Vietnam offer? How many cities does it have? What does the trip would look like? Let's say if I go for a week or so. Both of these phases are primarily dominated in today's time by Instagram, YouTube, TripAdvisor, heavy reliance on word of mouth as well when it comes to Gen Z and millennials, asking friends and family. And when it comes to Gen X, they have a heavy reliance on travel agents for this. The third is the booking. Booking is when you are clear in your mind, okay, I want to go to this XYZ place. I would just want to get done with bookings. This is when where most of the OTAs, the online travel agencies like Make My Trip or Booking.com dominate. And the fourth is the travel phase, when you are actually in Vietnam. And that is a phase that we strongly feel there is no product out there that is helping you figure out stuff logistically on the go, and very big empty space there. When it comes to us, what we want to essentially do is build an AI-powered end-to-end travel companion slash buddy that is context aware of your entire trip and that stays with you through all these 4 phases of your travel. So yeah, let's go straight into the product. How we imagine our product is there are 2 parts to it. The first is the planning and booking part, and the second is the on-the-go assistant or like an on-the-go travel buddy. Uh, First, let's talk about the plan and book part, and I also have a demo for this to show you guys. So just to give you a very brief description about this, imagine it pretty much like a AI trip planner these days that you see online. That has a bunch of other value adds on top of it. What you get is we just take very basic inputs from you and we generate a very personalized itinerary with the help of AI by understanding your personality and your preferences, curated according to your needs. On the itinerary page, you see the itinerary in form of a summary, and on the very right side, you see a Google Maps rightly integrated into it. Because we strongly feel travel is a is a very fun social and a visual activity. You need to know what that place actually looks like. So visually, it's very important to have Google Maps integrated as well. Bunch of other value adds. I'll probably show it in the demo itself. So when it comes to where we are right now, we have just last week we have launched our product publicly, at least this part of the product publicly, and we are getting good reaction so far. So on the homepage, the idea is very simple. Take very basic inputs from the user. We want to make sure our product is UX focused, very small, minimal steps, and the user is able to generate an itinerary. So on the very top, you see you see the search bar, very basic inputs from to the start dates and the end date, the traveler information, that is the number of adults, children, or the infants, and that is it. You just hit search and that will generate an itinerary for you. So I'll also show you the logged in view for the same and try to generate an itinerary in front of you guys. So let's say we are in Ahmedabad, we plan to go to, let's say, Thailand. So I search Thailand here. Let's say we want to go from 11th of November to 16th of November, or let's say 11th to 17th, or let's say we are traveling in a group of 2. We can also specify the trip type here. If you're traveling solo, couple, honeymoon, family, or friends, I hit on search and it starts generating or like building the itinerary for you within seconds. The idea here is while we are building the itinerary for you, we also want to show you how we're actually building it. So on the right side, you see all the different steps that we are taking into account. First, we have generated the experiences summary. So within, I would say, a span of 7 or 8 seconds, you're able to see the summary cards and like they start filling in. So we have the day 1 ready already. And now the platform is curating experiences for each and every specific days. So on the, let's say you see day 1 here, day 2, and if you see, it currently shows currently planning day 6. And yeah, like as soon as it is ready, it gets filled with the white background to indicate that it's ready. And yeah, like then it does a cost analysis, gives a final recommendation, finds all those locations on Google Maps, and within no time, I think it should be ready. And yes, so yeah, all steps completed successfully. On the right side, you see Google Maps integrated into it. And yeah, on the top, you see a pop-up from our side, because so far we have taken very basic inputs from you. That is when we prompt you to provide even more specific preferences. So, and that is a comprehensive list, right from your budget, pace, start time, any flight preferences you have, like cabin class or something. Are you into adventure, culture and history, shopping, or are you into entertainment or anything? And most importantly, especially when it comes to Indian travelers, the food preferences, the dietary preferences, because we need our vegetarian food even while we are in Vietnam. So yeah, like if you have any specific preferences for diet or any cuisine specific preferences.
Just 30 seconds.
Yes. So yeah, like as I said, you can just add all these and click apply, and it would generate an itinerary for you. So yeah, I'll just, because I have a bunch of other things to show, but just to quickly reiterate on the second part of the product, which we feel is going to be the core differentiator and is yet to be built out. It's the on-the-go assistant. That is a travel companion that's going to help you logistically on the go while you are actually traveling. Top three use cases that we feel for it is the real-time live mode assistant. So basically, kind of dynamic itinerary adjustment. So any sort of adjustments that you need to make real time into your itinerary, that it can help you figure out all that stuff. Secondly, it can give you a lot of because we exactly are aware about your location. It can give you very specific dining and local shopping recommendations as well. And most importantly, another big use case is it can act like a virtual tour guide to you, because we are aware of your location, we are aware of your entire trip, and we are also, with the help of AI, aware of all the places that you are going. So we can give you a very much interesting guided tour virtually that can help you understand the place in a much better way. So yeah, this is where we are right now. We have built the first part of the product, and we're in the process of building the second part, and that is going to be the key differentiator that we strongly feel. Yeah, that's it from my side. The early preview is live on letsgaman.com. You guys can go to letsgaman.com, check it out, and you can follow us for more updates on our social handles as well. Thank you.
All right, big round of applause. So how many users do you have right now?
So we have done. Firstly, 3 months back, we did a closed private beta with around 60 odd users. That is where we were trying to get some early feedback, and we wanted to make sure we're not building in our own bubbles. So we got really good feedback on the product and on the look and feel as well. We have just launched it publicly a week ago. So far, we have around 100 more users compared to the private beta, and we have around 400 itineraries being generated so far on our platform.
What's the business model again?
So when it comes to business models, we are not going to charge a single penny from the users. How we are planning to monetize this is by using the affiliates. So we are going to facilitate the bookings through our platform very shortly, using all these platforms like Booking.com, like Klook, and all of these have a very standard affiliate program. For flights, it's very less. It's barely 250 rupees per person per booking. But luckily for stays and experiences, it's a good margin. When it comes to stays, it comes to around 5% of the booking value. When it comes to activities, it's around 8 to 10% of the booking value. So from
that's all built into the system now.
It's not. So all of these platforms have a specific requirement that your platform needs to have around 5,000 users per month.
So when do you hope to hit 5,000 users?
Hopefully, like in a couple of months or so. Yes.
How are you getting new users?
So we have recently started building content on our Instagram, on our socials. We have started to reach out people one-on-one who we know are traveling soon, who are avid travelers and would love to try this platform. So and yeah, like so far the word of mouth seems to have been working in a very small sort of manner, but that's what we're going to expand. And as I said, like do follow us on our socials. We are generating pretty cool content there as well. So yes.
Any questions from the audience here?
Yeah. How are you managing the cost of the AI inference that you're making?
Yes. So honestly, if I tell you, you'll be surprised to know that even we had thought that the actual cost of this platform would come primarily from the AI side. But honestly, because ChatGPT and Anthropic and all these platforms have scaled pretty well, the cost of the AI part comes very, very less, just a few cents. But the actual cost is the Google Maps. Like Google Maps is a big pain point for us. Like it's every render that we do, I was not able to like show you the card. So like if you hover over any specific card, I'll show you. So if you hover over a card, you'll see all these photos on the platform, and you click on it, you'll get all these details, like all the reviews, photos, videos, website information, phone, and all that. We're pulling this data from Google Maps. This is where most of our money is burning. But with the business model we are aware of that, and thanks to one thing, that because international travel is generally a high ticket size item, we are able to cover the cost for that if we are able to book through our platform.
Yeah.
I just have a small comment. So I was so basically when you go to the homepage, you
Mhm.
don't have a preferences tab there, right?
Yes.
And then it seems like you create the to and from and dates and everything, and then it generates an itinerary, and then you see the preferences. So don't you feel like the preferences should be a part of the search in the first go? At least budget itself should be like included in the basic.
Yes. So there are 2 points to this. Number one, we consciously took that choice of not putting the preferences on the home tab because we had tried, I would say, at least 50 AI travel planners. And the biggest pain point for us as a user was this only, that before it generates the first itinerary for me, it takes at least, I would say, a couple of minutes or 5 minutes to, it takes so many information from us, and it feels overwhelming. And the second point, the preferences that we're asking, you can actually save them as default. So if you're a user on our platform, the next time when you are generating an itinerary, all these preferences would already be taken into account.
But maybe like the preferences change based on where people want to be. Maybe like
Sure.
in Vietnam, I want to spend X amount of
Sure.
money, and in Europe, I want to spend
Absolutely.
like Y amount of money, right? So I'm just wondering, like, did you do any user validation to understand what are the preferences that should go into basic and which should be in the additional part, or was it kind of like a hunch?
So I would say it's a mix of research and our intuition. We have got mixed feedback on this. Some, as you rightly said, some people do want that preferences right on the homepage, especially the budget.
Yeah, not all of them.
Yes.
But like, which ones should be on the basic and which ones?
Yeah, that's a good feedback, honestly. We are still sort of tinkering our head around it and trying to figure it out what's the best UX for this. So far we've been going with this and looking to A/B test it and see what users feel, but a very good feedback, and I'll surely think about it.
It's just a minor thing, I think.
Any other questions? All right, big round of applause for Geetansh.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, guys, and yeah, do check out the platform. Would love to know your feedback. Even you can connect with me on LinkedIn and we can have a chat over there as well. Thank you.
Awesome, thanks. All right, next, how about a big round of applause for Saumya from ServaLabs?
Some things are working, some aren't.
Okay.
I'm taking an exit from the Google Meet.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hello everyone, I'm Saumya, and a couple of questions. So, how many of you are not comfortable with English? Main preferences Gujarati, Hindi. Anyone? Well, that's great. So, we at ServaLabs are trying to decentralize AI data and compute. So, obviously most of you will be using ChatGPT. Most of you will be using Gemini, Google Search, Google Photos, Google Drive, right? All of our data is inside foreign servers controlled by foreign companies, right? And we're trying to solve that. So right now, let me show you. Crores of Indians are using ChatGPT. People are sharing personal photos in the Ghibli trend, right? And we are talking to ChatGPT about everything, like personal advice, relationship advice, financial advice. Now, all of that data is with ChatGPT, and one change in terms and conditions, and they can monetize on that. They can sell that data. Now, we cannot afford that, can we, as a nation? And it has an ex-NSA director in the board of directors. Now, that is a spy. Just like we have RAW in India, there is CIA and NSA in US. Now, US saw China as an AI competitor. How many of you know that US blocked NVIDIA chips sales to US? Does anyone know? Great. So, and along with that, OpenAI blocked ChatGPT in China, not the other way around. China did not ban ChatGPT. OpenAI blocked that. Now, China is a 4 times our economy. They have similar population. Now, US can afford to lose that business. OpenAI can afford that. Now, imagine if there is an US-India geopolitical tension and ChatGPT gets banned in India, or AWS doesn't work anymore. Now, what can we do? So our mission is to decentralize, democratize AI data and compute. So instead of centralizing all the compute, centralizing all the AI, centralizing all the cloud storage, what we're trying to do is everyone, every home, every business has this a personal server. So you don't need to use Google Photos, you don't need to use AWS S3, you don't need to use Google Drive. This is your own personal server, your own Google Drive, your own Google Photos. And the feature set is also similar or better. Now this is also a similar trend. Former CIA boss joins Oracle, the company which went many hundreds of billion plus in valuation. Now Amazon AWS, which is the backbone of the cloud, also has an NSA director. So our big idea is that people should have their own data. You should own it. It should not be on a cloud service. It should be in your home. And obviously, there should be not a technical complexity. Like normal servers are 4 or 5 lakhs. They need a technical people to set it up. And they take a lot of space and power. So this little device consumes only 20 to 30 watts, 10 to 15 times lower than conventional servers. And our Pro model will be able to run AI agents and local LLMs. So you don't need to use ChatGPT also. You can run your own LLM in your server, in your home, and you own the data. So now, obviously, we have all the necessary ingredients to run cloud services. So it takes 4 things to replace cloud. First is data storage. Okay, so this has up to 40,000 GB of storage, this single device. That is 40 TB. Okay, and the base model. And the second ingredient is networking. It should be always on. It should always be accessible from anywhere in the world. That is networking. It has 5,000 Mbps of speed. So if you want to transfer a couple of movies, and you'll be able to do it in milliseconds. Doesn't work. Just you coming, solve it. So we are using thousands of services, and all of that data is centralized. It is with someone else. Now this is our tech stack, and this is our competition, but that's not relevant. So let me show you a couple of demos. Right now, how many of you use Google Photos or iCloud? Can you raise your hands? Okay. So what's the feature you like most about it? Why do you use that? If anyone wants to answer. Why do you use Google Photos or iCloud? Why not store it in a hard drive or computer? Okay, share, face detection, remote access, it's sharing only. You can access it from anywhere.
Cross device accessibility.
Cross device.
Auto sync.
Auto sync, so automatic uploads. So this is our private AI gallery app. It runs on the server in your home. The best part is all the face recognition, just like he said, all the cross sync ability. So whatever photos you daily click gets uploaded to the server at night at 2 a.m. Okay, so that's all. So plus it also has semantic search. So right now, for example, if anyone wants to try that, so these are my personal photos, and we can search anything like cat, dog, mountains, anything. And it can be very specific also. For example, I'm searching golden mountains. And by the way, this the model we use, it is 4 times better than Google Photos. So it found golden mountains. Now all of the data is in the server. All of the AI compute is also in server. All the face recognition is also in the server. Right now I can filter out most of the things. Like it should be me. I should have worn a jacket or something. Now, how many of you can share your Aadhaar card number with me? No one, right? So why do you share your face recognition data to people, to companies, right? Google, in the terms of conditions, they say that they can train models on your data, right? We should not do that, right? So this is an alternative. Now, this is just one app. So in that, in our server, we have over 600 apps, and every app is a consumer replacement of a cloud service. So for example, we have a private cloud app, which is your replacement for Google Drive. We have an AI NVR app. So this server has AI capability, AI compute power. It's a storage. So why not make it CCTV NVR? Why not use it for camera storage? So this also has face recognition and license plate recognition, along with object recognition that everyone gives, but not face recognition. This is your central hub for everything. Data आगे आपका Google Drive का. You have AI compute. You can run AI agents like N10. And the best part is it is in your home. Now we are currently offering these solutions to privacy conscious individuals, HNIs, builders, real estate people, investment brokers, those who want sovereignty, privacy, anonymity. And we're in talk with intelligence agencies, which is Ministry of Home Affairs and Intelligence Bureau, on how we can help them replace the cloud services. How many of you know Zoho recently boomed, right, in the internet, in the social media? Why? Because they offer sovereign solutions. They still are centralized. The Zoho chat app, the A something, yeah, it still doesn't have end-to-end encryption, so they can still view our chats. So we operate on a zero trust model. Not me, not government, not any Google or Microsoft can access the data. So that is purely zero trust. Right now I'm accessing this from my home. Cool, I'm done. Any questions? Yes.
So, like, first of all, a very cool product. Like I've seen these kind of solutions coming into the US market, but haven't seen much in the Indian space so far. What I want to understand from your research is, like, obviously there are two kinds of users for this. One is like direct consumers like us who want it for our own homes, or the second is like the corporate side where people, businesses and stuff. Like, how do you see your business getting split between these two? Like,
so we are not serving consumers right now because it's too expensive for them.
Okay.
Now we still start at 60,000, and it has up to 40 TB of storage, and base model also is 5,000 Mbps of speed. But the ROI for consumers is not much. I'll pay Google 100 rupees a month and get this, right? It is for privacy conscious individuals. We also offer one-click data destruction services. We also offer lots of privacy services. And businesses are the ones mostly interested in that.
Interesting. So do you plan to like expand it to consumers someday?
So we are actually open to consumers, but not actively marketing about
Marketing. Okay.
So if you want, you can buy it.
Makes sense. But yeah, like it has to be affordable. That will only come when you scale.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Cool.
What's your pricing for this?
So we have a lot of packages. The base model, just the server starts at 60K. Then we have privacy services. We have guardian services. So that is inbuilt network firewall, inbuilt IPS IDS, inbuilt data destruction. So you can trigger data destruction just by phone or a smart switch or anything, and the data gets destroyed, and the data gets remain in the backup server, which is in another location. We also offer privacy phones.
No backup, sir.
Huh?
What if there's no backup, sir?
Well, then that it gets destroyed, no. So obviously we offer two servers in the Pro package. Garden package. So one is in the office location or the main location, and another one is in the another location, which can be another state, country, anywhere. Okay. And yeah.
So there are some other applications like DigiLocker, right, and DigiYatra, which people might still want to use, and I don't think we'll be able to provide a replacement for that. So
No, those are a different kind of services. Those are offered by the government, and those are useful for authentication and all also. So we don't replace that. You can still store your ID cards in that.
exactly my question. there is still potentials for leakage.
No.
There is not from here.
Yeah.
From those.
Yeah,
areas
obviously.
which are
But we don't have any option. You know, the Aadhaar card data was leaked. The PAN card also was leaked. And there are hacks of government websites, but that is something out of our control.
Also, this is very awareness dependent. Like someone who understands the seriousness of
Yeah,
the
that is
situation.
half of our problem.
So-
We have to make the customer aware. Boss, you need this.
Big boss.
Big boss.
Yeah, you're talking about some LLM, right?
Yeah.
So I want to ask you two questions on that.
Yeah.
First is what is token per second for your LLM? And
Yes.
another thing is how many parameters it can run on?
So we currently support, in the Pro model, we support GPT OS's 120 billion parameters, and the open source version of ChatGPT,
Yeah, I know that. But
and that is
if you are
25
using-
token per second on the Pro model.
If you are using GPT,
No, GPT OSS
GPT versus yeah,
that runs on the server doesn't send any
Yeah.
data back to ChatGPT.
but token per second, how many?
25.
25.
Yeah, that is enough.
25 token per second.
Yeah.
25 token.
That is enough for a single or dual person use.
That's okay. Another thing is at a time, right?
Yeah.
Haha.
Obviously, per second.
So, yeah. So another thing is how many parameters?
So GPT OSS is 120 billion. That is a mixture of experts. If you want to get a dense model like Llama, that can run up to 30 billion parameters.
So is there any kind of Python server, other kind of servers you can run on that? Because I
Yeah,
see
obviously,
that all
it's a
of them-
server. It's a server.
Yeah,
We can give you terminal access. You can run your own production apps. You can run your website, everything.
Yes.
But that is a commercial use case.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a, because you are right now using only commercial tools, I think.
yes. Yeah, development side definitely. And yeah, so right now I wanted to show you one thing also.
What was that? You had a question? Yeah. Okay.
So you know, how many of you use Gemini? Okay, so just I was using it a couple of weeks back, and there was a pop-up. You know, humans review some saved chats to improve Google AI. Stop this for future chats in Gemini apps activity. So humans, not AI, just are reviewing our chats. Now we offer a AI app which has API integration, so you can just plug in Gemini API, and all the data gets stored in the server. So you still get the Gemini quality by using Gemini API, but the data is in the server. So if you are reluctant to use LLM apps, or if you have base model, there's still an option for you. Cool.
Do you have any specific ask?
If anyone can help me connect with HNIs who want privacy, who want sovereignty, anonymity, and IT companies who obviously they want server, because all of their files can be centralized. And yeah, that would be it.
Is it a one-time purchase?
Yep.
Or
No subscription, no AMC. We hate that.
Any other questions?
Specs of your server.
Yeah, so we start at 60K for the base.
Specs.
Specs. Yeah, so
CPU,
the Pro model, it has up to 32 cores, 24 core, 32 threads. It can have up to 100 Gbps of networking. It can have multiple GPU servers, GPUs in it, so you can run multiple models. If you want a single model, we can support that. But if you want to run multiple models parallelly, we also support that. You can have up to 150 TB of storage, like a proper server. That's 1.5 lakh GB of storage. And you can have up to 200 concurrent users.
All right. Any other questions? Yeah.
So you said you are going to target IT companies, so they will use this server. So like, how will you convince them to replace the old traditional servers with your server?
Well, ROI. So cloud is very expensive, honestly. Yeah. And the second part is data theft. So in IT companies, their main IP is software, right? Code. Now employees often switch companies, and the stuff, the code remains on their laptops sometimes. So we help them centralize all of that. So no code, no data gets in the employee server. All remote login into the server and operate and work. So that is one of the benefits we provide.
They have physical servers, right?
So then they won't need that, right? We are targeting people who don't have servers, who may not have the technical complexity to set it up, or the capex to set it up. So we offered the gap, so we bridge that gap. So big companies often obviously can have IT people, they can buy tons of servers, they don't need us.
The 60K is for one-time setup.
Yeah, the base model.
And the physical.
Yeah, this little device, 5000 Mbps of bandwidth, inbuilt 1 TB storage expandable up to 40 TB, starts at 60K. No subscription. Yeah, actually that depends on the configuration you get. So if you want to run LLM models or not, you want extra GPU, you want to do how many camera processing you want to do, it's customizable.
It is your own OS or?
Yeah, we developed our own OS, but based on Linux obviously. And we have our, huh?
It is open source.
No, not open source. So the OS we developed based on Linux. We have our own proprietary stack, and we use Docker as well.
Can we upload other OS like Ubuntu or Linux or anything?
Yeah, so we support virtual machines, so you can have Windows as well. But due to licensing issues, we are not currently offering that. But soon we'll offer Windows servers.
We have time for one more question in case anybody has a.
Suppose someone buys an individual buys this, right, and starts using Chat GPT and Gemini on this. Their data will then not be accessible to these apps.
So for example, use Gemini or OpenAI API. You just plug in that, and all the chat remains on the server. The data is sent to OpenAI. It gets a response back and stores in the server. OpenAI doesn't hold that, hopefully.
Will they still be able to train their systems on it?
No, we disable that. There are two kinds of API kind of thing. The one is cheaper one, where you allow the training and it's cheaper or free. And the another one is paid, where they don't train the models. So OpenAI recently rolled out that thing. Yeah.
All right, big round of applause for Saumya. Next up, we have Neeta from IUTech. Big round of applause for Neeta.
It's a PDF. I can just click.
Yeah. You can just go like this. Okay.
Hello, hi everyone. My name is Neeta Khanuja. I am a fourth-year PhD candidate at Carnegie Mellon University, and my research direction is basically to create culturally grounded technologies to enhance quality of life of older adults or elderly in India. So my startup vision is basically like it's rooted in the design research that I do. So this presentation is more kind of inclined to like the design part of things, and I have like an MVP idea, and my ask, which I could just like mention in the beginning, is to basically find a technical collaborator. So it started from looking at the aging experiences of. It's not going down.
Just this one.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. So yeah, it started with looking at and doing some formative studies in trying to understand aging experiences of elderly in India. And during my research, I've been looking into different living contexts, which include private homes, assisted living or retirement homes, or old age homes. But for this specific project or this specific concept idea, I'm specifically looking at private home context, which means independent living, where older adults either live with their families or they live alone in the same city with their where the children live. And we basically we're talking about, if we look at the enablers and barriers in these contexts, there is a lot of access to family support. There is an access to resources and for emotional well-being and in general well-being. But there are also like certain constraints in terms of lack of boundaries or lack of personal space or lack of agency. And what does that mean for technology adoption and usage? So we found that in terms of technology adoption, usage and learning, elderly relied a lot, or there was a lot of intergenerational kind of interaction that led into them learning and using new emerging technologies, and also the ones that they are kind of familiar with, but they were a lot dependent on other family members. And that kind of brings in a couple of challenges, which is over reliance on their children, tensions in terms of boundaries, and support expectations. So when we look at the technology interaction process, we are not focusing on all the other aspects. We are focusing only on the aspect of troubleshooting, which means if they know about an app, they're using an app and they feel stuck, and then how do they kind of troubleshoot themselves, like in order to kind of move ahead. And some of the tension points that we kind of figured were time synchronization. So when they want support, they need support at that particular time, not when children get free. Priority synchronization, because something that they want to learn or navigate could be a priority for them, but not a priority for other family members, and that creates tension sometimes. So uploading an Instagram post, maybe children think that that's not important, but they think that it is, and they want to learn, or they want to kind of troubleshoot that, basically that particular aspect. Repetition, in the sense, once people teach them something, they want, like, I mean, they might want them to repeat the same kind of things again and again, which can create tension sometimes. Once they make a mistake, then kind of letting go of that and using the same interface again is a challenge for them, because they find it challenging to overcome that fear. Lack of decision making, in the sense that there was a user who said that I want to learn Instagram, but then the children were like, no, we cannot, because then you'll spend a lot of time on it. So they feel a lack of sense of agency in a lot of decision making, especially when children think that there are certain apps which might result in frauds or which might not be important, and they don't get to make that decision. And then the contextual frame of mind differences. So for example, the elderly is maybe like trying to book a cab from Uber, but the son or the daughter or the grandchildren are in a workspace and they don't have time to really like solve that issue there and then. So that could create tension in terms of how the different contexts like emerge. And the reason why we want to do it, because empowering older adults, and that kind of gives them a sense of like agency to kind of indulge in things that they want to. In terms of the research process, we started with semi-structured interviews to kind of find what are the things that they need support with, and we kind of understood that troubleshooting needs are different, of different priorities. Not everything is urgent. The challenge was to wait for children to get free. They also mentioned how they see young people doing things and they kind of ask them or learn from that. They decide what they want to decide what to learn and what not to learn. Making mistakes can be a huge barrier, and then they feel a sense of hesitation to ask again. So we did a probe-based interview study to kind of show them some images of the technologies, because they recognize the images, the technologies, but not by names. Sometimes they remember uh, like they kind of think of Alexa as like an interface which works with Clap, but they don't know that it's called like a virtual agent. So in order to kind of get some insights of technology preferences, we used images to kind of make them create that kind of familiarity. And these were the other like the detailed requirements that we got, that they want something when they're at home, and they want it when they're outside, or they don't want to depend on someone or call someone. All troubleshooting needs are not urgent. Can they trust robots and virtual agents? And I mean, they want somebody who is like almost like a troubleshooting companion. And also, if they have an issue with an app on the phone, they cannot really kind of call somebody from the same phone because they need to see the interface. So this is a preliminary first draft concept solution, where we thought of it as an app where imagine that a person is using Instagram and they want to kind of know how to upload a picture. So they just take a screenshot of the app that they're using. They go to the help app, which is Sujav, and then when they open the app, it almost reads it uploads it brings the screenshot and it reads the screenshot, and it asks, there is a voice kind of input where it asks what is it that they need help with, and then based on that it kind of gives them like a step by step tutorial with audio and visual for them to understand what they need to do and how, and then they can obviously repeat it, or they can save it, or they can share it with someone, and or they can ask more questions. So yeah, I mean, this is still kind of in the development. So the next step for me is to basically come up with like a prototype which works, because to get feedback from elderly, it's very important to give them something that works for them to visualize. It's difficult for them to visualize like a paper prototype or a non-functional prototype, and then refine it based on the feedback, and then yeah, I mean, hopefully create something that that impacts or makes a difference. But yeah, I think I'm done. And yeah, feel free to. So okay, in terms of technical details. So the plan was to basically use like a large language model which kind of parses what is on the screen and understands what the user needs are, and then based on those variables, it kind of creates like tutorial or like a video tutorial or an audio tutorial for them. And initially, we also kind of thought of it as combining with like a Jibo robot or something. But when it comes to affordability or like looking at it from a business point of view, I think it makes more sense to have like an app which is not as expensive as a social robot. I mean, though there are advantages of using embodied interaction like social robots, but not everyone would want to kind of have that in their homes. So yes, so this brings me to the last slide, which is when we think of IoTech or the company itself, the vision is to create culturally grounded technologies to meet the needs, preferences, and values of older adults in the Indian context. And this is one of the products that we are kind of thinking on within the umbrella of this company. And this is my name, and this is my contact information, and yeah, feel free to get in touch.
Pause. Any questions for Neeta?
Well, using this application itself not be a challenge for
So the one of the reasons, I mean, using any application and making them aware of any application is a challenge in itself. That's correct. But I think if we kind of follow some rules where the interaction itself is simplified enough for them to if we show them once, they would kind of understand. For example, voice input is something which they are very familiar with. So taking a screenshot and then the app kind of reading that screenshot itself is something which they are very which would be easy for them. So I'm not saying that this is a full shot solution, but the intention of my work here was to kind of highlight the design space and the challenges that we have. And once we test this, I think it would pivot and it would kind of get refined in terms of how it can really solve the issue.
Okay, assuming there's a business angle to it, will there not be eventual churn? Because what they are trying to learn is something like once they've learned how to upload a picture on Instagram, they will not need to relearn it, right? And
well, they will. That's one of the challenges, because I think I mean, if they don't have to learn it again, that's great, because that is the impact that we want to create. But the thing is that there are so many emerging technologies, and it's inevitable to keep learning and keep yourself updated. But if and also there will be like tutorials that they can maybe save, so maybe they're not coming back to the app. But the intention here is more of like a social impact rather than.
Yeah, that's why I said assuming
Yeah.
as a business angle.
Well, it would be great if they don't have to come back, but I think they would have to, because repetition is one of the memory retainment is one of the issues that they struggle with anyway.
And you're looking for collaborators.
Yes, if anyone is interested in, so I got very inspired learning the AI in the AI workshop to kind of create something myself. But I would love if someone is interested in like exploring it as a research product, which we can kind of refine and then eventually create into a startup.
And maybe through that collaboration, you find more features that are monetizable or keep the people on the platform.
So the plan is like once we have the functional research prototype or product, doing like co-design studies and testing it with the users would kind of lead into pivoting in some ways in terms of the features and in terms of monetization, in terms of how we can sustain users. But right now we just have questions. We don't have answers.
The current version of the other products like the Grok or something like that, it's already pretty much doing what you're talking about, right? So it is like it can act like a psychologist, it can even act like any therapist, and it can even debate with you and all those kind of things. It's already doing many of those, and you can upload any kind of screenshot and it will be able to analyze it and then give you whatever input you are asking. You can even talk to it. You don't even need to type. So there's a lot of these features already baked into in many of the big apps. So probably you need to be much more focused on what you're looking for. That's what I would suggest. So there are already these features are coming in already in Gemini or Grok. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, do I need to answer that?
Yeah, go ahead. So what?
No, I think like the only the difference is basically when we come to design. When you think of designing for elderly, it's like less is more. The more focused and the more like less complex interface that you can give them, which solves that one issue for them. I think that's where they would adopt it. Otherwise, they would just like leave it like other complex technologies.
When's the last time your Nani used Grok?
Probably she will use it soon.
So you think she'll use it soon? Okay. But you also saw maybe ChatGPT's opened the App Store within ChatGPT. So it's not like they're actually creating all of these new user interfaces and features themselves. It, at least in ChatGPT's case, it kind of does look like they're going towards that App Store model where, you know, they're going to monetize all these, you know, new, you could, I guess, say wrappers for the platforms.
Yeah, so when I press my home button, it opens up Gemini Live and I can ask questions about my screen. So isn't that already being solved by Gemini? Because the barrier is already low. I just have to press the middle button and it opens up Gemini Live. I can ask questions about it.
Well, I mean, if it is there, then I mean, we just need to do like interface design, and we just need to create awareness. So, initially, like the plan is to create something which just takes in the screenshot and which gives you like some navigation or like some tutorial kind of help. But when we do the prototype and when we understand from the user's perspective what they really need, it might actually pivot into like a collaborative tool between the older adults and the children, where they can kind of like interact to decide what to learn. So I'm not saying this is a full stop solution to the problem. The issue is that there are still tensions. Like these things still exist, but I don't know about that. So I don't think my grandmom would know about that.
But then she would also not know about installing an app from the Play Store, giving it accessibility permissions.
Yes. But that then like once we really understand like a solution that works for with the co-design and with the user evaluations, then it's all about marketing and marketing to the specific demographic, specific target audience that we're looking at.
But still, Gemini is pre-installed in most Android apps. You just have to button. That distribution is all Android apps.
Yes, but who knows about that?
So there's also Neeta has actually a whole nother pitch she was planning on pitching. Maybe you should have pitched that.
No. But I think it's great to get feedback on
maybe
this.
Maybe you can do a hybrid about Gemini Live and like agentic browsers for Android.
Yeah.
Maybe that can work.
Yeah, I mean, in order to create
she's
a
open
prototype.
for collaboration. So all
Yes,
of you guys that have
in order to
these
create
ideas-
a prototype, if we could use these and we don't have to like reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
But if we could use this and we could create like a functional prototype that I can kind of evaluate, I think that I don't have a problem with that. But
Just a-
thank you so much. And I think it's good to get feedback.
Yeah,
on this.
definitely.
A small suggestion. Maybe instead of just sticking to instructions, if your application can turn into something that always facilitates that, like it gets into the process, embedded, like it actually helps
So
you.
like a plugin.
Yes,
Yeah.
something like so they'll be using it.
Yeah, I
all
think
the
that
time,
could
right?
be.
So
Yeah. So
it makes it easier and it also solves your business angles also.
yeah. So the vision here, which is not really kind of expressed through the screenshots, obviously, is to have like a troubleshooting companion, which could be a plugin, which could be other interface based.
Yeah, like it is always so whenever they
Yeah.
like for the lack of a better description, maybe they use Instagram via your application. They use other applications via
Yeah.
it's always that facilitating.
Yeah, I
Not
think
just
that
the
would be a
mention.
great idea to explore. Yeah.
There's a question in the back here.
But another thing, if they want to learn something, they don't have to install one other application.
Yes.
They have YouTube in their phone.
Yes,
So-
they do.
So they just give a voice command, and the YouTube give them all tutorial with the repetition with the simple language in their home language, like in Marathi, in Hindi, in English, everything.
Yeah.
So what I think is, if you can integrate healthcare in your app,
Okay.
if they feel cold, so they just give a voice command and feel cold today, what should I do now? Then your app will suggest them with the doctors or some experts that go to some warm place, take some medicine, this kind of thing. Okay, so if they don't have child in that place, so they have their phone, no? So they give voice command. It's very easy for them.
Okay. Well, that's a very interesting insight. But when we did our formative studies, in also not just in India but even outside, we did figure out that older adults actually they don't learn things on their own. They need somebody to teach them. Like that's the thing. So they would not look at manuals. They would not look at tutorials. And that's a bit of a barrier when it comes to like the learning and troubleshooting. So there was this person who we interviewed in the retirement home, and he was like, I would never open a manual. I'll just call like my son or my grandson. So I think that's a barrier which we have really noticed in the formative studies. So and that's where we were trying to kind of come up with interfaces which can overcome that. So I would definitely try to explore that YouTube and voice command based support. And if that works, that would be great. But that would be like one of the options that we can look into. Yeah.
But I think, Neeta, to sum up this, from my understanding of things, you've identified a wonderful gap in the market where there's a whole segment of people who need services, who need help with a lot of things, and you are trying to explore ways that you can provide them to, and then which can later be monetized. Would that understanding be correct, right? And then all these people were giving you suggestions like YouTube and Gemini and everything, how you can enable them to do that.
Yeah.
Right. So perfect. That's
Oh, I mean, I'm pretty much happy to get the comment and the feedback. I'm not like disheartened at all, because like right now we're at a very formative stage. So getting all these insights is definitely wonderful for me. So yeah.
I got one more question here.
Yes, first of all, like great and very impactful. But yeah, like thinking like apart from the impact side, considering Indian society especially, I see this problem happening with Gen X where my nani or my dadi will definitely use it. But when it comes to my mother, she's relatively more aware about all these tech platforms. And when it comes to the millennials and Gen Z, I would say they don't need much of a help. That's my understanding. Second, what I strongly feel is a bigger space that is empty and a much harder problem to solve is actually, instead of making them learning how to use apps, making them learn how to use a desktop or a computer to actually create some value. So I know so many people who like, when I used to go for my computer classes when I was a kid, there were so many people who would come just to learn Word and Excel at those computer tech centers, just because they wanted to get some sort of a job or some data entry related stuff done. And I see that gap still today, especially in women at my mother's age or my grandmother's age, where they are absolutely unaware about how to use a desktop or a laptop. And if they are able to, it can create a very big value for them, even personally and monetarily. So I feel like a food for thought for you. Like you can sort of think in that direction too.
Yeah, I think that's very interesting as well. So yeah, when we also when we mentioned troubleshooting, I know the interface screens were like miscommunicating what I meant, but with troubleshooting we actually really meant troubleshooting in any ways in terms of technology interactions. So yeah, I think that's a very interesting insight, and I will definitely consider that.
Awesome.
All right, big round of applause for Neeta.
It's like Duolingo, but for adults trying to learn new things. Right?
This one's from this row. Okay, this row. You got to say for this one. Sorry. Okay, I know. This last one. All right, our final presentation for the evening is Arpit, who is with ISRO. Big round of applause.
Hello.
Just like this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. I'm Arpit Chaudhary, and I just moved here to Ahmedabad like a week ago, and I belong from Delhi. So I'm here to work with ISRO. So just a few like background about me is like this presentation is completely going to be about research. I mean, when you talk about AI, everything is about research. So it will be about space research. Let me get into it. So my team, Bactrio, was ranked 1 in the entire country by ISRO, and we were rewarded by the chairman of ISRO, the space minister, and the chairman of InSpace at Bharat Mandapam on National Space Day. So that is me, Arpit Chaudhary, and that's the image. And I'm national rank 1, and now I'm interning for ISRO. I'm basically here because I need to publish the research that we did. Our research was basically a novel method to detect coronal mass ejections from sun. I'll be getting more into that. So I'll be also working at SAC, that is Space Application Center. I got an invite from the director himself. So we'll be doing both of that, me and my teammate. And then more of it is like I have AI ML experience in Gurgaon before this. And I am third year undergraduate student in Delhi. Okay, so once again. So getting into the problem. So we were supposed to identify halo kernel mass ejection events based on particle data from Swiss ASICS payload on Aditya L1 satellite. So Aditya L1 satellite, if we all know, is the first satellite sent by India in like long range point, L1 point. And so we were supposed to develop an algorithm that is completely new. And it was a novel solution because nothing regarding it was present on the internet, because what we were doing was trying to find a solution out from, instead of magnetic field data that is used by NASA or European Space Agency, we did it by using only plasma-based data. So what is a coronal mass ejection first? Let's understand that. The sun sometimes erupts massive clouds of plasma that are called coronal mass ejections. And they are ejected towards Earth, then they are called halo coronal mass ejections. Now these are very dangerous for us because these CMEs can trigger powerful geomagnetic storms that are a direct threat to our critical infrastructure that can disable satellites and power grids and endanger astronauts as well, like the ones we are sending on Gaganyaan. They do have like radiation exposure, like protection, but still, if CME is strong enough, it can potentially damage them. And then our mission was to build an automated early warning system using the data from Aditya L1 satellite and predict their arrivals before they hit the Earth. So the most obvious approach when you are dealing with something like this is like, if a coronal mass ejection is coming, okay, so how I want you to imagine coronal mass ejection, it is like a tsunami of particles in the space. So if Earth is here and Sun is here, let's just say coronal mass ejection has arisen from the surface of the Sun. And if Earth is in the direct hit category of the Sun, then we'll be calling it the halo coronal mass ejection that is going to be impacting Earth. So the most normal solution for these kind of problems is that let's just put a simple threshold. Like if the solar wind is traveling more than like 600 km per hour, we will call it that it is halo coronal mass ejection. But these kind of problems are not solved by that. So a simple threshold would always fail because the solar environment is not a simple environment. A fixed threshold would either be too low, like it would constantly miss false alarms, or like it would be too high. It would be completely missing the weaker stream events. And when you're detecting something like a coronal mass ejections, you need to be always detecting whether it is slow or it is fast moving CME. So the conclusion was that we could not work with something that is normal threshold. We needed to, our system, our neural network that we eventually came up with, needed to have context, the pattern, and it needed to understand the physics of the plasma. We did not want to make it just a statistics-based model. We wanted to actually understand the physics of the plasma. So our solution was better because it was a custom neural network. So it was like an AI, which is working as a scientist. So every point that we used to collect from the satellite, we used to calculate hundreds of features for that. Eventually, we would cull those features, but we would calculate a lot of features for that, so that we could have much more better view and understanding of the data and how it is going to work. So we actually read a lot of research papers, every research paper, I guess, in the field, to get the best features, because we need to understand the physics, we need to understand the trends, how it is going to move. So we then built a solution that could understand time. Also, there will be not a lot of things I'll be revealing because we did not publish it yet, and they will fire me if I do so. So yeah. So it understands the time and it understands the physics. So it is understanding that coronal mass ejection is a transient event and it is a temporal sequence. So what a temporal sequence means, it's like that it is going to be evolving over a large amount of time. So it could be a weaker coronal mass ejections where the solar wind travels much slower, or it could be faster coronal mass ejections where it will be traveling much faster and will be hitting Earth much sooner. So our neural network understands these complex patterns of the CME that a normal threshold could never capture. So this is the final, like the ground truth result. So as you can see, the table on the right-hand side is the list of Richardson Kane catalog. So this is the ground truth, the Bible for our problem statement. So the coronal mass ejections, the dates that you can see there, that are the verified coronal mass ejections that have occurred. So now what we have done is plotted them on the graph, as you can see. The proton speed, the proton density, and proton thermal speed have been plotted here from Aditya data. And then the area, the gray area, as you can see, that area that we have marked is like verified from the Kane catalog. So that is the ground truth, what has happened. Now, once you come below, that is our model's prediction. The model that we created, as you can see, it directly aligns with the gray area that is being predicted by the Richardson and Kane catalog. So as you can see, it is correctly predicting all of those events. So this was the groundbreaking result that we presented there. And yeah, so if I hope that everyone understands the ML and AI here. So this is the confusion matrix. Let's see, 94.5% it is correct when it's predicting no CME, and then it is 5.45% false alarm and 63% detection rate. Now I know that a 63% detection rate might look a bit low, but when you look at it, it has 5.45% false alarms. But the thing is that in case of coronal mass ejections, the most important thing is detecting them, because it could, if we miss any of those events, that could have like dangerous consequences. So detecting all of them, even if the false alarms rise up, is important. So that means that false alarms, we can increase the threshold for false alarms, but we need to detect more. And the thing was with this was that it was built on only 8 months of data set. Normally you can get 9 years, 10 years, 20 years of data set, but ISRO had made the problem statement so hard for us so that we have to find out a way to do it with limited amount of resources, because I was not buying any GPUs online or anything. I did everything on my Asus stuff, gaming F50. So anything. So it is like with the data set that was given to us, it was given by Aditya L1. All of the data was from there. We could not use NASA, we could not use SOHO or any sort of spacecraft. So that is how we got 66% detection rate. Now that we have moved here from Delhi, like ISRO was very excited for us to move here so that we could publish eventually. Now we have access to supercomputers. We have access to 30 years of data. So now we can build even more. Like they have made the problem even harder. They want us to completely make a new novel thing. So we'll be publishing that as well. So our solution is novel, as I talked about. Now you might see me repeating novel a lot more, because I think the most motivating thing when you're doing something like this is if your solution is new, you don't. Yeah. So if you're working towards something like this, you want your solution to be novel. You want something new, like you want to create some value out there and not just repeat something that has been done before. So our solution was novel. That was what we were tackling. So we thought that everything that is done by NASA or ESA is done using magnetic field data. So can we build a reliable warning system just using plasma data that is under the Kelvin? So the state-of-the-art systems that is Arcane by NASA uses magnetometer and it detects the magnetic structure of the CME, but that creates a critical point of failure where if the magnetometer is not detecting the coronal mass ejections, like the particles, then it would not be working. So our innovation was that we could work with the physical impact of the CME, like the physical parameters of the plasma, and detect it. So now feature validation. Now, when you're working with a neural network, one of the most important things that you come forward with is the model could be a black box. Like you don't understand why it is giving certain results. So these are the features that we got. Now, all of these features are completely backed by the research that is done. Like everything is physics backed because when you're presenting to the scientists at ISRO, so we presented to a whole council of 30, more than 30 judges and directors and everything. And so they want physics-based answers. So everything that features that were guiding our answers were all physics-based. So the impact that we're gonna create was like the immediate impact would be Gaganyaan human space flight mission. So India needs a very good space weather service like NASA has, and then national security as well because power grid protection is important. In Quebec, or like a Kennington type event in 1989, which was a very strong event, solar event. And then military satellite protection is also important. So we need to have good space weather capabilities. And then competitive advantage was also perfect because we had perfect timing. It is solar maximum 2025, so the data that we we're getting was very good, was very rich, and that will make our country fourth globally to do space flight as well as weather prediction. And then technology leadership, like the first developing nation with comprehensive L1 solar monitoring, like developing because China is not there yet and apparently they are not developing anymore. Okay. And yeah, so that was my research, and thank you. This is my LinkedIn if you want to connect. Or so the main thing that I'm here for is like anyone of you, like investors or anyone that is delving into like deep tech or want algorithms, I'll be very open to working with you on like if you pay well. So yeah.
Awesome. So besides the publication, which maybe next year or
oh no, it's like in 3 months.
In 3 months. Yeah. Awesome. So like after you publish, what are your what are the biggest outcomes that you want besides the actual model being used? Where do you see yourself in 1 year or 2 years down the line?
Okay, so right now when the scientists that we're working with, they're very eager for us to publish in an international journal and then go to conferences to present it. And then eventually I would like to see myself at CERN, that is like the European Center for like research. It is very competitive. And I mean, I have first rank in the nation and then a research paper. I think I'll have good chances if I get that.
So besides observing the coronal mass projections, then at CERN you're accelerating particles.
Yeah.
Where do you see that going?
I mean, I think most of the work that I'm doing is going to be like converging towards AI in the end because AI research is like high paying and interesting thing. So I mean, I love to do science, but only when it is backed by money. So it is like kind of trivial. So yeah.
So the features that you found, which you used to detect these, did you find them to be mutually independent or?
Oh, we found actually a lot of correlation features. But as I said, that the features that we first made were like 356 features. But then we are like, we are not going to be submitting so many features to the model. It would be noise. So we did a normal correlation curve to remove the features that had more than 0.95 correlation. But then, like, we did that for the winning, but then when we came here, the scientists were like, you can go a step further. You can do principal complement analysis. Like, it is supposed to it will dumb down the dimensions for like we can feed them in the neural networks.
So the final list is mutually independent?
Yeah, everything is mutually independent. 0.95 correlation curve is out, then that will only be like surviving.
And all of the initial list of features, these were detected by the LLMs. Like what Was it what was it? What is this?
So you're asking like the features.
Yeah, the initial list.
Okay, so the features we had to feed up, like when you're working with physics, they were like the scientists, like our mentors, are very much like you have the domain knowledge, so you need to put that domain knowledge into the model. So we created a lot of features. As I said, we read every research paper, I think, regarding this problem. So we understood the trends, how it will be moving, and so we created those features, and then eventually we put them in, and so yeah. Oh, how long? It's like 30, 45 minutes. Yeah. So like, I think we can do more, but yeah. So, okay, I don't know if I can review that here. But, yeah.
Yeah. So I want to ask you the thing is, if you are using ML, machine learning, so do you have any kind of input from your side to say that ML that this particular thing is wrong here and you have to change in your database?
Oh yeah, a lot of projects. So,
Yeah, so that's what AL comes in the picture. I mean, it's machine learning and active learning, right? Yeah, so that will give you best thing out of the case, as you have a lots of what's called subject matter experts with you, and you also has a lots of data of the
so you're saying like-
8 months of data, right? So it will give you the better result over that. Because you're
now we're like deploying much more like bigger digital algorithms and to work with
still
it.
it will always going to be like after few amount of data it will saturate because ML is ML.
Yeah.
You are using more like a features from the basic sensors or multimodal features like for videos and
We had a payload that was like Swiss aspects on Aditya. We were allowed to use just that. So the data that it was collecting, that was the only data that we could use.
basically sensor based.
Yeah, sensor based. Yeah. In situ data from language bodies.
Any other questions? All right, big round of applause for Arpit. All right, that was our last presentation, but we have one more speaker, and I'll now call order from House of Stars.
Yes. First of all, everyone, let's make a round of applause for Jeremy. He's the guy who ideated this entire concept, and we all partners chip in to support him. But he's the one brain behind this entire Code Cowork AI demo night thing. So thank you, Jeremy. Like coming to the House of Stars, like I'll briefly explain what we are, like who we are and what we do. So House of Stars is a full-time venture builder based out of Ahmedabad, and we are co-building with startups. So consider us as your like working partner, and we'll take care of this stuff which you are not like what I can say like able to perform or navigating the stuff there. So in that period of time, we come into the picture and we help you to take it to the next level or to make it grow. For investments, we have a syndicate of our own, and we are making like we have odd 60 CR pool in our like syndicate. So from there, like we are investing to these startups, but we are not just an advisor or a mentor or an investor. We are the co-builders when we are co-building with you. So yes, looking forward to like interact with you all and explore these synergies, and do let us know if you are into co-building or looking for someone who can help for your startup or your like next big thing. Yeah, thank you.
All right, so that